With increased isolation and dangerous speed, COVID-19 has become the third leading killer amongst the nation, and the increase in cargo theft was not making the pandemic any easier. 2020 was the highest year of cargo theft within the United States, impacting many lives around the world. In the United States alone, there was a 23% increase in theft from 2019 to 2020, with the average value of the thefts increasing by 41% compared to the previous year. Product targeting during the COVID pandemic was specific to merchandise that was already in shortage, including toilet paper, paper towels, masks, ventilators, PPE products, and other items that were needed by the most vulnerable. Today we have Daniel Ramon, Overhaul's Intelligence and Response Manager, giving first-hand insights into the last 365 days and the impact it made on the world of supply chain.
Danny, thanks for joining us today.
No problem, Connor.
I was wondering if you could give us an idea of the trends and insights we got in supply chain intelligence this year.
Yeah, primarily what we learned in the last year, Connor, is just how quickly organized cargo thieves are able to respond to emerging market trends. So in March 2020, when the pandemic forced a lot of people to start working remote and work from home, we saw a big shift focusing on consumer electronics, finished electronics, the type that would be used to build a home office. And then as the pandemic progressed, we saw these same thieves start to target personal protective equipment. So a lot of face masks, a lot of face shields, sanitizers, and things like that. We even saw a couple of full truckload thefts of ventilators from unscrupulous thieves as well.
And what has changed since then?
Well, we've seen a lot less targeting of PPE and sanitization products, and we've seen a shift towards the type of electronics products that are flying off of store shelves and selling for a 50 to 200% markup on the secondary market. A lot of these things like GPUs and RAM chips are going through a global shortage right now due to the boom in cryptocurrency mining.
Are we expecting any shifts in theft trends in the near future?
Well, major shifts in cargo theft are usually driven by external factors, whether that's going to be something global like COVID-19 or if it's going to be something more local like a hurricane. Now, the only near-term trend that we expect to see this year is the, relative to the year so far, increase in activity around the holiday shipping season in Q4. Now, COVID did really stress the just-in-time logistics system in 2020, so it's yet to be seen if a major percentage of retailers are going to try and stock up early to prevent bare shelves during the holiday season. And if that happens, it may drive the high-risk season for cargo into Q3 as well.
Do you see any specific products becoming popular among thieves?
Well, Connor, I'd expect the current trend to continue. That is to say, any consumer electronics product that's currently selling for 50 to 200% markup on the secondary is going to continue to be aggressively targeted by organized cargo thieves. Now, the reason for that is anything that's in demand is going to get them a higher premium when they go to fence that on the gray market. Now, typically, these cargo thieves are only going to get about 10 to 20% of the actual value of the merchandise when they go to fence it, and that percentage is going to go down if they have to ship it overseas, which they often have to do for electronics, which are uniquely serialized.
And what about weather patterns?
Well, NOAA is predicting a 60% chance of an above average hurricane season, and that's always good to note because it only takes one storm to drive up thefts of building materials.
I've heard that pilferage has been increasing quite a bit over the last few years. Is that true?
Pilferage has always been underreported, and I think the primary reason for that is it's always been rather small scale and low value. We're talking non-organized cargo thieves, popping seals at truck stops hoping to find something valuable, and that's not what it has been in the last 2 or 3 years. What we've seen in the last 2 or 3 years is become more targeted, more organized, and become much higher value, primarily because thieves are using this as a precursor and an intelligence gathering method to a more large-scale cargo theft. Now, in the last 2 to 3 years, we've seen the reports of pilferage increase over and over and over as the quarters go by, and there's not been any channels added to data collection for cargo theft, so one of two things is causing that increase. Either one, the same people who report cargo theft are now reporting pilferages and the same pilferages that they've always had, or two, and this is the more likely scenario in my opinion, is that the pilferages that they've been experiencing have become more and more severe. They can no longer be attributed to just counting errors at loading and unloading, and they're triggering police reports and insurance reports, and these are the things that are starting to be reported through those same channels that have always been reporting cargo theft.
What active threats are we currently aware of in the U.S.?
Well, right now, we are aware of a crew that is based out of South Florida. They're currently targeting electronics shipments that are originating in Tennessee. They're following these shipments from origin, and they are striking anywhere from as close as Tennessee all the way to as far away as Texas. And we do know that this crew is still at large. There's another crew operating in LAX area, or the LA Inland Empire area. They're primarily targeting electronics that are traveling by rail. So what we've seen is they seem to be targeting these electronics on rail by the high security locks that are on the containers. And they're likely cutting those high security locks while the train is in motion and then waiting for it to be stopped for that cargo to be offloaded. Now we do have some good news in Georgia. There's been 2 arrests made of known cargo thieves based on a warehouse theft incident that happened earlier this year, and we are actually expecting more arrests of more known cargo theft criminals in that area. And consistent with overall trends, we are seeing across the board, coast to coast, increased targeting of those consumer electronics products that have a high resale value on the secondary market, and we do expect that to continue.
What can be done to mitigate these threats?
Well, Overhaul digitizes and connects your entire multimodal logistics ecosystem in one place and in real time. We use contextual location and intelligence information, as well as real-time location and shipment condition and external risk factors. We use these to generate proactive, corrective alerts for security and integrity of the shipment. And we give real-time predictive insights to put you in control of your supply chain. Our Fusion Hub provides global security and support to manage these risks. Now, we always prefer to manage risks in layers. Prevention is always our primary objective. However, should an in-transit theft occur, we have a seamless security solution to aid in recovery by sending a secure link with pertinent shipment information and real-time location to our extensive law enforcement network, which we will activate in the event of a theft.
Overhaul's intelligence and response team is committed to bringing you the most up-to-date information on global supply chain risks and disruptions. To stay apprised of all the latest news, subscribe to our Supply Chain Intelligence and Response LinkedIn channel.